So a couple of days ago, I bought myself a new pair of jeans, mainly because my old comfy pair had developed holes in them and I couldn't realistically continue to wear them. So why am I telling you about this random pair of jeans? Well, actually, this is the first piece of clothing I have bought in 2 years, which is just insane. And I've taken some time to reflect on it. And in today's video, I wanted to share with you kind of my experience of not buying clothes and the lessons that it's taught me. But before I jump in, just a few quick disclaimers, if you will. Now, I know everyone hates a disclaimer, but I do think a couple of these points might add a little bit of context into how I was able to go 2 years without buying any clothes. So first of all, as a previous regular shopper, I already own quite a lot of clothes. So I do appreciate that doing this challenge is possibly easier for me than perhaps it would be for somebody who has a lot less. On the flip side of that, though, I actually wasn't wearing a lot of these clothes because I'd gained weight, and so I could only actually fit in a small proportion of my wardrobe. On the flip side of that, though, that kind of probably helped me because I wanted to lose the weight. I was really reluctant to buy any clothes in that bigger size. I just kind of wanted to wait until I could fit back into the clothes I already had. I was also proactively saving money at the time because I've been wanting to buy a house for quite some time. So every time I ever looked at clothes, I was thinking, yes, but is this taking me away from my goal of saving? I also think having done a previous no buy / low buy on makeup and cosmetics had really helped because it had already started to influence my spending habits, kind of making me much more mindful about what I buy. And then last of all, I definitely think lockdown has helped. This last year, most of us have not been going to social events. We've not been doing many of the things that we would normally do, that where we might think, oh, I fancy a new dress or I need a new pair of shoes, etc., etc. So that's probably helped in being able to do this for an entire 2 years. Okay, so on to the lessons. And lesson number one is you need a lot less than you think. So research tells us that we wear a very small proportion of what we own. The average Brit has 152 items in their wardrobe, but around 57 of them are never worn. And I have to say, this was my experience. Now, on the whole, I wore a very small proportion of my wardrobe over the last 2 years. Now, admittedly, I would have worn a greater selection of clothes had they all fitted me throughout the period of time, but it actually really shocked me into how little you actually need. So lesson number two is that no one even noticed. So often in the past, I've hit the shops because I didn't want to wear the same outfit I'd worn previously. Now, admittedly, in the last year, I've not seen many people, but I specifically remember a training day I went on just before lockdown, and one of my colleagues was being incredibly complimentary on the day. She said she loved the blazer I was wearing, she loved how I'd styled my outfit, she thought my shoes were really cute, and obviously it was really, really nice to get those compliments, but inside I was kind of chuckling because it was the exact same outfit I'd worn to a training event about 2 months previously, and she'd not even realized that it was the same outfit. And the lesson that I've learned from that is that now if I was attending somewhere and someone said, did you wear that dress before? I'd be so confident to just say, yeah, do you know what? I love this dress. It makes me feel really confident whenever I wear it. So whenever I get the opportunity to, I wear it. I would never now be bothered that somebody would think that I would wear the same outfit twice. Lesson number three is that I saved money. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much money I saved over this time, but I think it would be fair to say that I've saved probably £500 to £1,000 for each year that I've done this challenge. Now, the average person in the UK apparently spends £1,000 a year on new clothes, and the average American shopper buys 70 new items of clothing each year. That is one every 4 to 5 days. So when you consider that, it's really easy to see where you could save quite a considerable amount of money if you just shop a little bit less. Lesson number four is that trends are a total waste of money. Now, I've been reasonably lucky in this category as an awful lot of trends don't suit me anyway, so I tend to favor much more classic styles. I'm sure I made some mistakes buying trend-led pieces in my teens and 20s, but on the whole, I've kind of been quite lucky in this regard. But being able to sit back over the last couple of years and see trends come and go, it really, really highlights how wasteful they are because, the in thing this week will be in the charity shop in 6 months' time. And, an awful lot of stuff that goes to charity shops is never actually sold. An awful lot of products end up in landfill, especially kind of fast fashion and stuff. So, yeah, it's really highlighted how wasteful that can be. And buying something that is going to stand the test of time, that you're still going to want to wear in a year's time, is much, much better, both for your purse and for the environment. Lesson number 5 is that I wasn't less happier. Now, on balance, I wouldn't necessarily say I was more happy by not buying clothes either, but it certainly illustrated that buying things will not necessarily make you happy. I think, like most people, we all enjoy that feeling when you buy something, a new dress or something, and you come home and you perhaps show a friend, and you're really giddy about how much you like that item. But that kind of happiness is really, really fleeting. So, I don't feel that buying clothes will add any kind of real lasting happiness. Of course, having no clothes would mean you would be rather unhappy, but you get the drift. I think having mountains and mountains of clothes is not necessarily going to make me feel more fulfilled, more satisfied with my life. So I definitely am going to make sure that in the future, if I'm down, that I'm not shopping aimlessly online to try and make me happier. It's not going to make me happy for anything more than a fleeting moment. And then one last little bonus lesson is that it probably saved me time. Sitting and scrolling through websites looking for something, particularly looking for something when you don't need something, and even just physically shopping takes time. By removing all that time spent on shopping, I've probably had more time to spend on other activities like exercise or maybe just filming videos. So it's definitely something to consider, that shopping takes time, and that could be taking you away from something that could be more important to you. So what now? After this experience, am I only ever going to buy new clothes like these when the old ones develop holes in them? No, I absolutely love clothes. And even though I am definitely going to be more mindful about what I buy in the future, I will probably always own too many clothes, because in truth, we actually need very little. The experience has forced me to question how many clothes I own, though, and quite frankly, how ridiculous it is. I've been kind of decluttering in other areas of my life for a couple of years now, and definitely over the next year or so, I want to declutter my wardrobe. I'd much rather the clothes that I don't actually wear go either to be sold or go to the charity shop, so that someone else can wear them and appreciate them, rather than them collecting dust in my wardrobe. I've also become much more conscious of what I actually wear, what shapes I like, what cuts really suit me. And I know now that I can see a garment in a store, look at it, appreciate the work that's gone into that garment, and just put it back and leave it in the store, because I know that it won't suit me, or that I just won't wear it. You can still appreciate something without needing to own it. Also, I don't buy much of it anyway, but I'm aiming to buy even less fast fashion. 50% of it is disposed of within 3 years, so it's absolutely terrible for the environment. And in my experience, a lot of it is not great quality anyway, and starts to not look great quite quickly. And I know that people will say, yes, but you can donate it to the charity shop. But a lot of that kind of stuff that's misshapen and isn't good quality, actually no one buys from the charity shop. So it creates this ongoing problem. Now, that's not to say that all fast fashion is terrible, or that all high street fashion is terrible. I've actually got some dresses in my wardrobe that I bought 10 years ago that I would still wear to this day, and they still look in fantastic condition. So there are exceptions, but I would say that they're probably not the rule. I think the main way that this experience will change my shopping habits for the future is that I only want to buy clothes that I absolutely love, and that I know I will wear, and that I know I will be happy to wear again and again and again. And I don't mind, actually, if that means buying higher quality, more expensive garments, because if you're going to wear them time and time again, if you look at the kind of cost per wear example, then they're probably in some ways, if you wear them a lot, they could work out even cheaper than multiple lower cost items. So I just really want to focus on things that I know I will wear again and again and again. So that's it from me for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it or it gave you food for thought. I'd be really interested to hear from you in the comments as to whether this last year meant that you bought more or less clothes. People seem to have fallen into one camp or the other. I know a lot of people bought clothes because they were bored, or they bought lots of loungewear over the last year. So I'd be really, really interested to hear your experiences as well, or if perhaps you've used this time to really be more mindful about your shopping habits. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye now. Mwah.